Hello there. My name is Ray Scott, and I'm going to be your host for this evening on VLM, Vision of Light Ministries. Today is a very special night for me because, well, special day for me, because we have a special guest that is one of my favorite topics, cosmos. I love it. And his name is Dr. Prim. He's from NASA. He's a NASA scientist. And we're going to let him present to us some thoughts on the universe. And also, we have our founder, Dr. Duke. I like to call him Doctor. Dr. Duke Iqbal. And we're going to let him introduce Dr. Prim to you, and so that we can get an understanding of what they've gone through.
Well, Dr. Prem, and I call him Brother Prem.
Brother Prim.
He's a friend of mine, and
Yes.
we've been known for the last 20-something years. Over the year, he mentored me so much. We mentor each other, and he's very much involved with the community, and I mean, everybody need help. He's always been there. So, Brother Prem, I'd like to have you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, and let's talk about your show and the name. So, and then let's move forward and see what you have for today.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Brother Iqbal. Brother Iqbal. And we've been known for a long time.
Really?
It is definitely a special honor for me to sit next to him in the studio, because this was one of his dreams for a long time coming, and now it is a reality, and then he wants to have these programs done.
Mm-hmm.
He suggested that we go ahead and talk about the mysteries in the universe.
Mysteries
And
in the
that
universe,
was a
yes.
fascinating thing for me, because I would like to talk about the astronomy and other stuff that we see, but we probably do not understand the intricacies and all the complexities involved in that one.
True. There's so many different
there are a lot
mysteries,
of
yeah.
mysteries there, so
Yes,
we
it
thought
is.
we'll talk about it.
Mhm.
And a few months ago, he said we should record these series of things, and I said, well, we can definitely do that one. And Adam came with a list of things that we can talk about, and then that's how we started. This will be our second time sitting together on this
Yes,
topic.
yes.
Good.
And I'm very glad and proud that that whole segment, it is going to be education time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been talking to Brother Prem because he's already teach in the prayer view,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to see we can make that show for everybody as a teaching purpose. That's what he does.
Right.
And my plan someday, he invited us to come to Fairview to shoot, and we are planning to go one day to shoot and down there. And I also
Put me on the ticket. I don't want to go.
also
Yes.
I approach him that talk to university, see we can bring that segment to university and make that a part of the university program. And so it's going to have online platform for the student, his student, everything up, and his thing, so we're praying for and see what God has for us, but I am very, very happy, and because this is not only our plan, his plan. I talked to him last almost 8-9 years ago that praying, I'm working some project that I want to do something for community and for our next generation and stuff like that.
Good. Yes, that's
And
exciting.
finally God allow us to have that dream, which is I'm very, very happy and very thankful that. All right, Dr. Prem, I'm going to let you have the talk show.
And also coming from a Christian standpoint,
Yes.
that's really exciting to me.
That is
Yeah.
that is a blessing.
That is a
and it's a fascinating opportunity for me to witness
Mhm.
and share from the educational perspective.
That is witnessing.
And
Yes, it
the primary
is.
part is education, but from that one we can glean on
Mhm.
the mysterious things behind and how they came into place. And there is a whole idea. So yes.
Amen to
Not
that.
only that, I haven't mentioned to you, he's not only the scientist, he's also the ministry too.
Yes, the ministry. That's
He-
the most exciting
he
thing
has
about
his
it.
own ministry.
A perspective from
He
From-
has his own ministry. He preach. He's a pastor too.
yes. Oh,
So
fantastic.
So
I
he's
didn't know
on,
that.
he's both ways,
Mhm.
So we're gonna have one day segment as scientists versus Christian
Mhm.
philosophy, how that fit in, So we're gonna have one episode because he's scientist and also he's in pastor. So how that thing works out,
Works
be a
for him.
pastor and
Wow.
because the scientists thought one way, so he's the both land, So
Wow.
he's gonna teach us one day and see what is the vision, how as a scientist to look at in the God creation, and the God way.
That's what I would like to do today.
Thank you.
And thank you very much
No,
for saying
you're
I'm a
welcome.
teacher
Yes,
and also a preacher.
and also a preacher.
The bottom line is a talker.
An inspirational man.
That's right, inspiration. That's
That's
what
good.
Inspiration from the Word of
Good.
God. Yes.
I like that.
So let's see what you have on agenda.
Sure. Today, I would like to just go back one night. That is last night. Today is November 19th, November 18th.
Mm-hmm.
We had an eclipse in the U.S. and many parts of the world.
Yeah, it's hard for me
And,
to wake up.
it is a wonderful thing because it is very unique and one of the rare ones because we had the longest time
Really?
the shadow of the earth covering
Mhm.
the moon. So we're talking about that one today. And I want to take from the evening sky what we have today, and I will show those pictures and I will take you back one day behind
Mhm.
and show how the moon is going to see or experience the shadow of the earth when
Mhm.
it is between the moon and the sun. Earth is coming in and we're casting the shadow there.
Right.
And we will talk about that one. And I have some other intricate things that I would like to bring in through my PowerPoint charts and I
Sure.
want to show them and explain to you. And I may have one or two personal comments here and there, and then we'll go
Sure,
from there. But
sure.
you are welcome to ask me questions.
Oh,
and
wow.
interrupt
You open the door for that. I'll ask a lot of questions.
It's your floor.
And we will we'll go from there.
Good.
And
One of my
but I
favorite
would like
topics.
to thank this opportunity, the
Mhm.
Almighty God, for giving us the
Amen.
privilege
Amen.
to have this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Mysteries in the universe.
Mysteries in the
So we
universe.
will see that one.
Wow.
This is what we just experienced last night.
Right.
And I have some pictures that we took from our own telescopes, and I want to show you. And I will
Some
show
true
you
clarity.
some of the software that I've been using
Mhm.
for teaching purposes. And these are the public software. Anybody can get those things as well. It will take a while
Mhm.
to get hold of those details there, but we can look at that one. So,
Good.
anything
Okay.
else? So,
Go ahead.
and, can I go over to the
Sure,
mic?
sure.
Okay. So I will go to the wonderful setup that you all
No, thank you.
prepared for me.
I wish I could say it's an education, but it's.
And we are back here. So, Adam, am I ready for this part of the show? Wonderful. So this is the evening sky. If we walk outside now
Mhm.
from Duke's office here and look towards the southern sky, that is the yes part is for the south and then southwest and then southeast part here. So if I move my screen towards the
You want to move this side? Come on,
left part
sit
here,
down over there so you can see.
I have the eastern sky there, so you can actually see moon is coming up there right now. That is the brightest part is the moon there in the eastern part. And this is about 6:51 in Houston. That is the time that we are looking at right now. And then we will see, and you can also see some of these green colored names given there. These are the torrents that we will see, but maybe one in every hour or so during this part of the season there. As Earth is going around the sun, it is going to experience different aspects of these meteor showers there.
Mhm.
And sometimes in December we'll have a more pronounced one.
Oh, really?
About every few minutes we will see many of them. But right now we got to wait for an hour or so to see few of them.
Mhm.
A little bit fainter, but in December it's going to be very, very high.
Wow.
And I will show those names also as we go by.
Wow.
But if you go to the other side of the sky here, you have other planetary bodies that you can see. Do you see this one, Jupiter? And then Saturn here. And then we just are going to miss Venus very shortly. It's the brightest object right now almost in the western part of the sky. Sun just set in the western part and then towards the west, southwest part of that one there.
Okay.
So that is the one. So today I just want to take you a little bit closer to Saturn and then bring back and go to the moon, and we'll work through that one. So that is the beauty of this particular software for us. So I'm just
And Dr. Prem,
Yeah.
this is for the last night.
this is right now.
It's
Oh, right now. Okay.
Right now, if you go out and
Actual.
put your telescope, you can
Okay.
see this. So this
Oh,
is real
my
time.
goodness. Oh.
And then so
We
are-
can't see it with the city lights.
I know, I know.
Yes, you can actually see this. Saturn is going to be a little bit faint, but Jupiter is very, very bright. And as you go closer to that one, and I would like you to appreciate what we see on this particular one here, and that's what I'm going to go closer and closer. Do you start seeing the rings there?
Mhm.
Now you will appreciate the software we have here to give all those details
Wow.
here. So
Oh,
now
beautiful.
this particular one is one of the moons of the Saturn. Titan is there, right?
Mhm.
It is so far away. And now we are looking at the rings of Saturn. If I come closer here, all those other bright spots are the moons of Saturn there. That's how we are looking at it.
Wow.
If you have a telescope, this is what you're going to look through.
Really? It's going to look exactly like
Exactly
that?
like this one, the same orientation for
Really?
all the lenses that we have set up and everything there.
Mhm.
So this is
And,
the real time. So
Real
This is
time, real time without the telescope.
Yeah.
Sitting in the home, you can watch this one. This is how it is going to be exactly what it is there. So I'm going to go back a little bit more backwards here now,
Mhm.
so that we can see the naked eye is going to look just like a small dot there. All the bright spots. Now, Jupiter is here. And if you want to go a little bit closer to Jupiter here, Jupiter is very, very bright. And the fascinating thing about the Jupiter is in 16th century, great scientists actually found out that there are 4 good moons. Today we have about 70 moons for Jupiter. And
Wow.
4 moons were given names about 400 some years ago. And those names are here. I ate green carrots. If you can remember that one, IEGC, that's how it is named as well. Io is here. Europa is here. Ganymede is here. And Callisto is here this moon. These are the 4 moons there. And you will be able to see all these 4 moons in the telescope through certain lenses there. If you use a lens that is going to concentrate only on the Jupiter, you will be able to see the red giant spot on the Jupiter, but you may miss the moons there. The moons are going to go around there.
Yes.
And Jupiter is a fascinating thing. It makes one round on its axis, just like Earth is going around the axis for 24 hours.
Mhm.
It can go around on its axis in about 9 hours.
Wow.
It may take a long time to go around the sun,
Wow.
but on its axis it's going to go 9 hours.
Oh,
So if you
yeah.
watch about 4 hours night time, and this particular spot on the Jupiter called the red giant spot, which is
And
going
that's
to
our
appear
largest. That's our largest.
here, largest
Body,
planet, yes,
yeah.
largest planet,
And you
that-
can see that with the naked eye.
you can see that with the naked eye right now.
Oh my
And then you
goodness.
have a very bright object in the sky, and then a little bit fainter object is Saturn towards the right.
Mhm.
And then if you can go further down, Venus is going to be very bright there.
Wow.
So these are the objects that we can see. You can also see Neptune, Uranus also this night, tonight, but it's going to be very, very faint, too far away from us and so on.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk about these things here. And I can actually do one more thing for you, and that's going to be a little bit tricky in the sense that I can actually advance this one now. If I can go instead of, and this is about 6 o'clock, 6:56.
Mhm.
If I go to 7 o'clock, probably I may be able to see rotation on this particular part of the surface there. You can actually see now.
Oh, you can actually see the rotation.
Rotation on that
Mhm.
one.
Well, that's
And you will be able
very
to see some
powerful.
dots are there. Those are the different moons actually casting the shadow for us.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it goes a little bit further away from me, and then I need to go much deeper into this area. And then I can change the time here now. Now you will start seeing the. Okay, I went a little bit further away now, so I got to come back here. We can actually see the rotation on the surface as well there. So let me bring up here closer, and then you can see now a different part of the sky. In this part of the moon is casting shadow now, moon have a different
Mhm.
rotation, you can see.
It's casting a shadow.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you can actually see the red giant spot coming our way as well. But
Mhm.
let me see if I can go one more step here, if I can. That is going to be a little bit tricky for us.
That red spot is a continual storm on.
That's right. Continuous storm there, and we are thinking about 200 plus hurricanes coming together at one
Oh my
time.
goodness.
And we don't want to be, and we don't want anything to be there either.
Oh,
So
no.
it's going to be very, very large, and the greatest time. Imagine the size of the Earth moving around all the way. So that's going to be
Wow.
amazing thing. So
Yes, it is.
Jupiter got such a powerful magnetic field. Also, when we send our spacecrafts, we want to be careful not to go closer to Jupiter.
Yeah. Yes.
Be as far as possible, because there are also other radiation things that can cause problems
Mhm.
here. Voyager and Voyager 2 stood back a little bit away. Other spacecraft being built later on are going much closer and so on. So that is our own.
You would know that because
planetary
they explained to me that
system.
he's also one of the scientists that sent some of the last missions up there.
Yes, we worked on a spacecraft that were actually launched in 2014 and 2018 from Japan, and we're involved in that one. So we know how to take care of these things as well as how to build the instruments that can withstand the space environment, particularly the harsh, dangerous radiation environment.
My God,
So
yeah.
it is one of the fascinating things that we need to learn and how to move forward and so on. So we'll go back to the moon part that I talked about in the beginning, and then we will try to see if we can get to our part of the story here, and that is the lunar eclipse part that I would like to share with all of you today. And now I'm going back, and when we go further away with the naked eye, that's how we're going to look like. And then we got all those fascinating things, and I got all these items here on the ground and so on. If I can take away my telescope part here, as if I'm looking to the telescope here, and there's the background there, and then we got all those items there. And then, because I moved the time so backwards here, it is going to be 10 o'clock, and then it's going to be 9 o'clock. You still have Saturn there, and then it's going to be up in the sky. And let us go back to the 6 o'clock time frame right now. That's what we have. And then you can see the evening sky back again. The Venus is going to be setting down soon, and then you got Saturn and you got Jupiter there, and it's about right now 6:59, and then I'm going to move towards the eastern part of the sky, and then you have, of course, Uranus is here, and then this is the moon that we are talking about here. That moon I want to bring here. We'll keep that way, but we'll change a day for us. Right now, it is let us go back a little bit higher into this one. Okay. I made a mistake here. That is going to be today. And those are the moon things. Let me focus a little bit more so that we can see how the moon looks like today. And that is the part of the moon. The moon part is compared to Jupiter, whereas we can see the rotation of the Jupiter. Moon we cannot see. Moon we will see the same face all the time.
All the time, yeah.
That is the fascinating part of that one. The face of the moon, what we see, is the same all the time, though it is rotating on its axis. The rate it rotates on its axis is about 28 plus days, 29.5. And it is the same thing that it takes to go around the Earth also.
We're moving with it.
So we are moving along with it. It is rotating, but it is also rotating along with us. So we see the same face
Same side
all the
all
time.
the time. My
So
goodness.
what you see on moon today is also the same thing on the surface of the moon that we see tomorrow, day after tomorrow, even yesterday there. So today what we are seeing is
Same
it is
thing.
not exactly full moon, slightly less than a full moon. Because we are 1 day away from the full moon. Yesterday was full moon, and that's why we have the lunar
The eclipse.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the moon that we are talking about. This is the face that we are talking about, and every part and every dent and everything is named a long time ago. People in the 16th, 17th centuries, they were looking at the moon all the time,
Yes,
and
the
they
face,
can name these things. They
Uh-huh.
name them, and we still use the same names
Really?
right now.
Really?
We have valleys and we have peaks and all those things, and this is the same place. All those astronauts, 6 different missions also landed there, Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and
Same
so on.
place?
So different locations on the
Different
moon, on the same
locations.
surface, so that we can see and we can communicate with them. If they happen to land on the other side, the communication is going to be even much more challenging. We don't have many things to communicate back unless the spacecraft goes around and picks up the signal and gives to us. On this side, we can communicate. They even placed a reflector long time ago, so that we can send a beam, laser beam there, and it reflects back to us
Also, they left a plate
reflector.
on a reflector on the moon.
on the moon.
So we, oh my goodness, I didn't
We
know
can actually
that.
send that one. Recently they tested and it still works for us. Because nothing is moving on the moon. Moon is not going away or in its orientation changing its face towards us, always the same.
That's right.
So I want to take this opportunity to go 1 day back and see how the shadow appears on this one through this software. We'll talk about that one. This is the 19th, right, on this date, and 28 of 8 o'clock. If I go back to 18th, I'm going to completely miss the moon because I'm focusing on that particular location. So what I will do is, okay, let me
Coming back 1 day.
that's that. But just 1 day is going to be so much complicated, right? Okay. So what we'll do is we will go away, much further away, and now we will try to change the date. It will be still in the sky there. I will go to the 18. Okay, see 18 is going to be a little bit higher there. Now I'm going to focus on that one. We are coming closer to moon. You should see the same characteristics of the moon surface now, because moon is not going to change its orientation with respect to us. Always the same.
Always the
Always
same.
going to be the same there.
Yes.
And if it does not, then we may not be coming back to work tomorrow.
No. You got to find out what
Has
happened.
to keep that one, right?
Yes.
And that's how it is designed,
Mhm.
ordained, and decided to be, so that we all can have all these things, including the seasons and the ocean waves changing, high tide and low tide, and all those things there. We will talk about that one as we proceed today. So this is the part that we're looking at 8 o'clock in the evening. Nothing is going to happen here. So let me go back a little bit further away so that you can see what is going to happen. And now I'm going to go 9 o'clock, and I'm completely going away from here, so I need to be further away. My goodness, this part is really moving faster than what I can think about. Okay, so I think I messed it up right now. We went all the way here. This is going to be 18, and I need to get to the 8 o'clock time frame here so that I can get back to my moon. Right now I got the moon here, and I'm going to go further down, and then we will see what is going to happen here. That is 8 o'clock, and that is going to be 9 o'clock time frame. Still going further away. Let me put this part so that it won't go too far away from us. That is going to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12:05, and that's when the shadow is
That's
coming
when it
on the
started.
screen. Now let us go back here at 11 o'clock. If we can see, make a little bit closer to us on the screen. What I would like you to observe is, as we go, it starts about 12:05 or something in the evening. So I've got 5 o'clock time there. This is 11 o'clock right now. If you go 12 o'clock, you may not see much on the screen, but the shade is actually entering on that. I'm going to show you a different software there. If you can see, do you see any darker shade coming up?
Mm-hmm. We see it. Yeah.
That is the 2 o'clock time frame. So
Really?
now we're actually seeing the darker part of the shade approaching or encroaching onto the onto the moon's surface right now.
Mhm.
We actually see the shadow encroaching there. Now we're going to go 3 o'clock. It is almost there.
Wow.
Look at that one
Yeah.
now. And then I can even go a
It's a
little bit
little
further
pebble.
up there. A small part is left
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
They calculate this to be about 97% of the moon's surface is covered under the darkest part of the shadow. Only the small sliver is left out there.
Wow.
And if it can complete even that small sliver part, we call it as total lunar eclipse. Because it's a partially
Mm-hmm.
not covered, we got to call it partial
Partial
lunar
eclipse.
eclipse there. So that's how it has an everything, but the small 3% part is still missing there. So as you can watch this one, 3 o'clock, and now I'm going to 4 o'clock, see what is happening. The shadow is now moving away from the surface of the moon there. And if you go to 5 o'clock, so all the people who were sleeping last night, including Adam, missed the whole thing here.
Missed the whole thing. Believe me, Adam, you're not alone. I was
I did too. I
So
did.
at 5 o'clock is almost gone, but still, this darker part of the shade is gone. The faintly dark part of the shadow, we call that one penumbra. Umbra and penumbra is still there, and it continues to be there till about 6 o'clock. So that's why we call this one as one of the longest. I just messed it up. Okay, I just messed it up. This one, I'm going to go back here. Okay, I got it. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock, and then hopefully I just need to go a little bit further away. And then I can go to this one, 6 o'clock. Somehow it is going to go too far away from us. We may be able to see 6 o'clock. I think is going to be almost setting down for the vantage point of Houston. It may be not visible because we have the ground coming in, so
Mhm.
we have the horizon missing there. Maybe we can see how far we can see. We can probably see, I'm going by minute now, 5:30, 5:40, 5. Okay, Okay, now it is going to be completely gone underground there. That's the problem, in the sense that we'll be missing the horizon there. About 550 or so we'll be able to see that one. Now the trees and other things are coming in our way. That's the other shadows that we have seen that one. That is the part of the moon that I wanted to talk about and share with you all. Look at this one. I have the tree and other things there in my view from my telescopic view. That's how it's going to look like. All those things are going to come in our way as well there. So before I go into the next part, and if you have any questions on this one, yes,
I do. I'm glad you said that because I'm very curious about this. The probability of the Earth casting a shadow on the moon, and the distance it is, and the alignment it is. What is the probability of that happening? I mean, that's not an accident.
It is not an accident. It is not an accident.
I mean,
and here we can think about this one. There is a slight tilt for the axis at which the moon is going to go around the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That tilt is about 5 degrees and 5.15 degrees. Small tilt there.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, we don't get every full moon lunar eclipse, every new moon solar eclipse. We don't get that one.
Mm-hmm.
If that 5.5 degrees is not there, it is same aligned like the Earth's axis between sun and the Earth.
Yes.
We will get the eclipse every 15
Constantly,
days.
yes.
Constantly.
Yes.
The small tilt is going to be causing that one. Now the small tilt, your question, the probability is, we get a lunar eclipse about twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
One time in the spring, one time in the fall.
Right.
Perfectly designed for us.
Perfectly designed. Yes.
And now the axis is so close. By the time from full moon to new moon, about 14 days or so, we are still having the similar axis there. And that is another part we'll get the solar eclipse there.
Yeah, the solar.
Solar eclipse also comes about twice a year.
Really?
We may not see that one from our part of the world, but somebody in the ocean they're going to see
it. Okay.
And then in fact, now, since yesterday, if we count the days, December 4th is going to be a solar eclipse.
Oh.
And it is only visible from the almost the tip of the South America.
Oh, really?
All the way.
So we can't see that.
Yeah,
We'll
to
never
the
see
South Pole there.
Oh, yeah.
So there are cruises being planned.
Really?
And that's called we are chasing the shadow. And people have bought tickets on that one. One of my colleagues, Mr. Kartik, is going to go on that cruise.
So they're making money out of that.
So they're going to go that one. So if
Wow.
you wait for about 2026, there will be a big cruise going from between the Americas there, South America and North America part.
2026, just to see
And
the
going to
eclipse.
start all the way going to the Pacific Ocean there. You can chase the shadow for a long time.
Wow.
It's going to be a short time, but by the time the ship is catching up, it will move away
Move
much
away.
further there.
Well, that's amazing.
So this is what is going to be there. I'm going to show on the PowerPoint charts that I have for you more details about these things, exactly to address your question. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much for asking that question. It's going to be fascinating as we
So
move forward.
I have a question
Yes,
for you.
please.
What you say that people are going to spend money to go on the boat to see that 2026. So because of you, we don't have to go on the boat. We can see right over here.
That's the
See,
We have our own
that's the beauty.
scientists.
See, you know, that's the beauty too. We have our own. You know,
Amen.
we don't have to get the ticket to go. You know, we can just
Well,
watch it over
now
here.
we can sell for $1. We can show people.
Yeah, why not? You know.
Yes, it is possible.
That's
Yeah, that's good.
fantastic.
That's good.
Before I move on to the other one,
Yeah.
I want you to see a list of all the items on the left-hand side of my screen here.
Mm-hmm.
And all those things indicate various things about the tilt and axis and other things, the brightness and what is your angle that you need to place yourself looking in the east, looking in the southeast part of this one, as well as how much tilt you need to have at this particular time. All those things are there. But there's one part that I would like you to pay attention to if you can look at this one. There is a thing called distance here. Distance from sun is 0.991 AU. That is the distance. If sun and earth distance is 1 AU, right now the distance from sun to moon is less than 1 AU because it is away from the earth and closer to the sun on this direction. That's why it is a 0.99 AU there. But if you can further down, go further down here, we have 403,000 kilometers or 403,997 kilometers. as you can see, this number is always changing, the one that I have there.
Because
It is a
of
404,000 kilometers now, 404,003 kilometers, 404,004 kilometers, 404
You can
and
change.
1,005 kilometers is changing constantly because it is making its way, not only rotating, but going around the Earth there. It is not going in a perfect circle, but it's going slightly elongated apart. So now
Okay.
it is making a little bit distance away there, and when
Then
it
it
comes
comes
to
back.
the again there. That's what we're going to think about and see that one as we go by. And this is what we have right now about the moon. So let me go back to my part of the PowerPoint presentation there, and I will show some of those things as well. This is yesterday night, early morning, 5:53, 6 o'clock time frame. You have all these trees obstructing you in the view there. And in the software, if I take away those trees here, I can actually slightly take them away
No.
for you so that you can have a beautiful sky there, and then you can actually see what is happening about the moon. You can probably see a few more minutes before it completely goes, and the sun is going to come up and is going to be completely washed out the sky for us, and so on, all those details there. So that's what I would like to keep your eye on that one. That is our horizon, that's what we see. And almost 6 o'clock, everything is gone there. So let me quit this part here, and I will pick up this one from my next episode as we come by. But I want to share with you a few of the things that I already planned for you here. I need to share about what we have seen with our own telescopes last night, right? That's what I want to show you. Before that one, I want to play a little bit of movie here. And this indicates this is from my front yard. As you can see, the moon is going to raise almost in the eastern part of the sky. Almost in the eastern part. Daily it comes in different parts. That is Jupiter and Saturn and the previous picture. This is from my home inside and looking through, and that is the window. And then my family is living there, and I'm taking pictures there. And the moon is going to go raise. Now I have a telescope at home, and that telescope is now we are looking at the moon surface, and I can see some of the details of the moon there. We are seeing that one in real time. Some are a little bit oversaturated on the screen, but on the recording part you may get to see all those details as well. And then different times. This is my brother looking through the telescope, and I took a picture of that one.
Nice telescope.
And then a simple telescope here, and this is only 11 inches, but the ones that we have and other pictures I'm going to show you in a different way. And my colleague took those pictures of the eclipse part itself, the late hours of that one. And this is how we can see it's going to almost to the top of the sky. We can look up 90 degrees up straight to see that one by this time. It is about 12 o'clock, and then the starting of the eclipse and so on there. So I'm going to show them real pictures here, what I got there from last night, and I'm going to show you some of these pictures probably at random. Alan, you need to help me to see this one. And this is one of the pictures here. You can see similar telescope with my colleague there. And he took this picture as the shadow is casting on the moon. And as we look through that one, that is the shadow coming through. And then just like I showed you in my software,
Right.
and this is the one there. See, look at this one now. We're almost full here, and that's how it came out to be. And as you can see, the darker part of the shadow is going to be a little bit. Let me one more correction for me so that I can have a better picture for you. Thank you, Adam. And now you can see there is an orange color tinge on that one.
Yes. What
And
brings
this is
that
a
back?
partial eclipse. So we see only that part there. But if you can imagine thinking about that one, that orange color is coming up here, it is more pronounced on this one. If it is a total lunar eclipse, we even have even brighter tinge there. And that's why some of these eclipses are called red blood moon.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then
yes.
they happens when moon is a little bit closer to us. In this case, it is not close. When it is really close to us, we call supermoon.
Really?
And this is
Okay.
where it's not a micromoon, somewhere in between there. And last 2 years ago, we had a supermoon, and supermoon eclipse, and looked much more fascinating.
How often is that?
And that happens every few years, maybe 2 times in about a decade.
Okay.
So we'll see that one. I'm going to talk about that one too.
Okay.
Good question
Good.
coming up along.
Good.
So now, why it is red? If you can imagine, when we go out, we call the sky is blue for us. And then when we talk about the sky from surface of the moon, all the astronauts took pictures. They actually walked and looked around, everything looks like a black velvet sky. There is no atmosphere on the surface of the moon. So there is nothing to scatter the light that we get from the sun.
Right.
It's always black there. The sky is black there. The sky is blue for us because we have atmosphere. Our atmosphere scatters the light. So if you can imagine the white light, as Newton said long time ago, violet, indigo, blue, yellow, orange, and red are the 7 colors there. These violet, indigo, blue colors, they are easy to scatter. And that's why the thin atmosphere we have, should not be thin, good atmosphere we have, scatters the light blue. We see the sky as blue. On the surface of the moon, there is nothing, it's a vacuum, no atmosphere at all. That's why it looks black. When the astronaut took the picture of our own Earth from the surface of the moon, they called it a marble, blue marble,
Blue marble, yes.
because it looks like with all the atmosphere and everything.
Right.
Now, we are looking the shadow being cast on the moon by our own Earth. Our Earth got the atmosphere. The sun rays are coming behind us, and now they are also going through the atmosphere. Violet, indigo, blue are scattered here. Now red, the other part of the spectrum, they go all the way there, and then we see that color there.
Wow.
Those are the things scattered.
That's
Speaking
explain.
about that, do you have the picture when the astronaut took that picture from?
I think I showed last time, but I'm going to pick up that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
They
that picture.
took that
Yeah.
from moon
From to
to
Earth.
Yeah.
and the way
Well,
the
that's
Earth
amazing
looked like.
Yeah, I think I have one more picture to show. I'll do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
that's one.
Yeah, that's just
That's the
something.
fascinating thing.
Yes,
there.
it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Yes, it is. Just to imagine that is fascinating.
Talking about the atmosphere is very, very important, not only for human exploration of other planetary bodies.
Yes, yes.
Our Earth got the atmosphere, and we also have the magnetic lines of forces that protects us from
Protects us, right.
space radiation. And that is part of the studies that we work on. So when the sun is spewing out a lot of particles, in the next episode I'm going to talk about the sun. We're going to learn more about the sun there. All these particles are going to go through into this cosmos area, and some of them can come towards the Earth. When they come towards the Earth, the magnetic field lines actually captures them.
It captures it.
And
Well, that's,
those things,
that's not by accident.
not by
That
accident.
protects
They are
us,
protecting
yes.
us. That is the
Yes,
second
protecting
bubble.
us.
The first
Wow.
bubble is our own atmosphere here. And the second bubble is capturing all these particles, ionized particles, and they try to penetrate through, but they cannot come to us, but they go all the way around, and we can see those colors of the wind, so to speak, the auroras from
The
Alaska
auroras,
and
yes,
other
the
places.
aurora,
Yes,
yeah.
Whenever something happens on the sun, we can predict when it is going to happen, what we can see from Alaska, Norway, and other northern parts of that one, or from Australia. Australias, they what they call them.
Really? They have
And then
auroras in
they
Australia.
also come and capture the bottom part of our own globe.
aurora.
So we are protected. What happens on the moon? No atmosphere, no magnetic lines forces. If radiation is going to spew out, as we saw, it's going to be even closer to sun than us, 400,000 kilometers. And it is going to experience all the radiation particles there. So we got to protect not only volunteers like you that are going to eager to go to moon, in a space suit and other things, how you're going to walk and work there and so on.
Right, right.
No atmosphere, no magnetic lines and forces. Almost that is true even for Mars, because on the surface of the Mars, we don't have magnetic lines of forces. We have thin atmosphere. That is not going to work that much and that well for us.
Oh.
So we are definitely protected. We are definitely designed in such a way that we can survive and
Here.
enjoy the life.
Amen to that. Thank God for that.
So these are some of the pictures here we have, and these are the pictures from my colleague. And then I think he was awake all night to take
Really?
the picture of the shadow going in and coming out. And now the darkest part of the shadow is gone, and the faint part of the shadow is coming out of that one.
Now, is that an actual change of color? I mean,
It is the actual change of color, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
And that's what it happened. So when I took the pictures of the previous eclipse, and it's all going to be there. So this is what
That
is
is
a fascinating part of the eclipse that we all enjoyed last night, but we missed the mysterious part of these things, how it happens and where it happens, and why it is important for us. It is important for us because we are protected.
Yeah, we're protected. Yes.
Without
Amen.
that one,
Thank God
we
for
will
that.
not be
Yeah.
in any protection there. So that's the part of the presentation that I'm going to talk about very soon. And I want to talk one more thing, and that is I will set up this network for us. Thanks to Duke when I walked in, and Adam set up this one here. All things I showed just now. This is one of the web pages that you all can go. Is a public and for service. A lot of people contribute to this one.
Really?
People like me and others. Timeanddate.com, and you can see that one. And I chose one thing here. I want to show two items here, just to give a glimpse of what happened actually. You can look at this one. And now I'm going to play this part here. The shadow of the earth is entering the surface of the moon. That part is called the penumbra, the penumbral part of the shadow there. You will still be able to see the surface of the moon through the telescope, but it's very hazy there.
Uh-huh.
Now we are having the umbra part, the darkest part of the shade coming through. You can actually see the color being changed. That's
Yes.
how the shadow came in. And that's the only part, the small sliver towards the left is
It
not
kept
covered.
us from having a full eclipse.
That's right. And
Yes.
now the shadow is going away, and you can see the whole thing is moving apart, and the shadow of the earth is so big
Wow.
because moon is so small compared
Right.
to us.
Beautiful
and we
graphics.
can cover that one. It's closer to us.
Mhm.
Now the penumbral part is gone. So the starting to ending point is about 6 hours plus few minutes.
Mhm.
Is considered to be one of the longest ones. The shadow travel on the surface of the moon is so much there.
Wow.
And we got this one. Even the darker part of the shadow stayed too long on the moon. Is also one of the longest ones that happened recently. And I think if we can wait till about 2600s, we will get something like this one again.
Really?
So we got only a few more hundreds to live.
So this was an epic
21,
situation.
yeah, 2021 right now.
Mhm.
600 years later, we'll get similar
Wow.
thing again. So that's how it's going to be. So it is a very interesting and fascinating one there for us. So that's how we have seen all those details with my software, with the pictures, real pictures and everything as well. And we're going through this part of this one more last time here, and I'm going to.
And you said when the next time is 20?
Next, I'm going to talk about that one
No,
right
no,
now.
you just said when that happened, next one again.
And this long,
This
6
long,
plus
this
hours
long
is going to
period
be
of time.
about 600 years from now.
How many years?
600 years.
600. We'll be someplace else looking at
It'll
it.
be a
If
few
it's-
hours and so on.
if
So,
it makes it.
I mean, you're talking about 6th generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
and more than
Or
that.
And
7th
more.
generation, they will be able to see again.
Wow.
So, most of the world has seen this one last night. Somebody said about 50 plus countries got
Really?
a chance to see this one.
Mhm.
And Western Africa partly.
Mhm.
And then parts of India and Bangladesh here, partial eclipse they could see. And we could see a little bit more of the darker shadow in the US and South
all of
America,
Americas.
and Australia and
Really?
everything there. That's how we got that part of the story here. Let me see if
Europe.
the animation part is going to go through that one. The shadow part is coming through that way.
Uh-huh.
And those are the times given for that one. Those countries will see the darkest part of the shadow.
Wow.
And as they come by, and then now they can only see the partial part of the shadow
Uh-huh.
for those countries there, and that's how it's going
Boy,
to
some
end there.
beautiful software.
So for us, it is fascinating. We are
Really fascinating.
honored and blessed to be there.
Amen.
And for some people, they miss that one.
So,
Go ahead.
you're telling me that last time it happened 600 years ago?
Not this long. I think a few decades ago there was a longer one, but now
Mhm.
6 hours is only 4 hours.
Fine. Wow.
So
How
to
long
get
is
again
this
6
unique?
hours is going to be much longer.
How long ago that happened?
I believe I can actually see that one here in this listing if I can get that one. Just a second here. So this is eclipse in 21, and this is eclipse in 22. Total lunar eclipses are coming there and so on. And then I will get the better answer for you on that one. Calculation usually accurate to few seconds. Imagine
Mm.
that one. We are not going to go wrong in all these eclipses there. All eclipses 1900 to 2900, if you can imagine that
Wow.
one.
Mhm.
We have all those things here.
My goodness.
So these are the eclipses in 2021, and we are talking about the eclipses that we are talking here in November and December. Right now we just finished the lunar eclipse,
Mhm.
in about 14 days or so, we're going to have a solar
A
eclipse.
solar eclipse.
In December 4th. And next year, 2022, we got 4 items there. April, solar eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
May, lunar eclipse. October, November is going to be solar and lunar eclipse there. So this is going to be about 14 days apart or 15 days apart, because we are still on the same axis, full moon to new moon and so on. And these are going to be about 14, 15 days apart as well. So that's why we get 2 of them there. 23, you're going to have 4 of them, 2 lunar, 2 solar. There is a question, my answer to Mr. Scott. And they said, we're going to have 1 more here. This is almost a lunar eclipse. It's going to happen 1 extra 1. 4 of them.
Almost a lunar eclipse.
Almost a partial one. Only few countries can see that one and so on. 25 is going to be 4 again. And 26 you got 4. And 27 you got 5 of them again. And this is for Adam. You are going to experience this 2027. Remember the day, year, and then you can work out those details. And again 28, 5 of them. 29, 4. And we got 30 and so on. The one that I was talking about, 2026 or so, let us check on that one, how far that is going to go in the ocean part there. I think that is in the ocean. It's going to be all the way, that's going to be this part. Okay, this is going to be, I'm coming up here. Eclipses, solar eclipse here in 24, and this is going to be 25. Let us check on this one, 24. It's not that bad. And that is going to be your solar eclipse time there. And then where it is going to happen. This is the place that you need to go and get a ticket for.
Wow.
You're right on this.
Just
one.
right there in the
It is going to start
dark.
somewhere here and all the way here. And the shadow goes much faster here, but the ships cannot go that fast.
No, they can't keep up with it.
They
No
can't
way.
keep up with that
Yeah.
one. That's how it's going to go. And if you can go around, nothing is going to happen in this part. The shadow comes this area. By the time it is aligned with the sun, and it's going to go very quickly. A small sliver. The moon is going to cast a small sliver of the.
Sliver. I mean, just for our audience and for the people listening,
Yes.
the difference in a solar and a lunar eclipse
Yeah.
is what?
There are many,
Okay.
and at least we can see a few of them.
Mhm.
Now, sun and earth. Only moon is the one that is going in between.
In between.
Either it will be between sun and earth, and then we will have solar eclipse.
Solar eclipse, right.
When the moon is on the other side, we will have lunar eclipse.
Lunar eclipse.
The major difference is earth can cast a shadow that is going to be a big size.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a huge diameter
Huge,
of the earth
right.
and a small diameter of the moon.
Right.
And so we can always cover the lunar surface with both our faint shadow and the big dark shadow there.
Right.
Umbra and penumbra. When it comes here, the sun is obstructed by part of the moon. It is very, very small.
Very small.
Here is a beautiful illustration. One of the preachers said long time ago. How much distance you need to keep to cover the sun? When you look at the sun, you can just need a hand length there.
Right.
What you need to use to cover the entire sun? Just a quarter.
Yeah.
You put a quarter in your hand and look at the sun, it is going to cover the entire disk of the sun.
Wow.
Sometimes too many quarters in the hand covers the sun. It covers the other sun also. That is the problem there. So that is the illustration there. Moon is very, very small.
Right.
Sun is so big. 1 million Earths can fit into
Wow.
the volume of the sun. We will talk about that one next time.
Yes.
And then moon is exactly at a particular location. And that location changes slightly. When this moon is further away, or the furthest point, it is going to cover only the inner part of the sun. It leaves a ring outside.
Ring around it.
And that's called annular solar eclipse.
Ooh, annular.
Annular, because in month of June we had the solar eclipse. We got the annular solar eclipse because the moon is a little bit closer to us.
Wow.
And now, if moon is farthest point, it is going to cover the entire disk. And that is going to be only few minutes. The moon is occupying the location that we can see the sun.
Wow.
And then it comes out from the other end there. Only a few minutes.
Only a few minutes.
The major difference is lunar eclipse is going to be longer path, but you
Uh-huh.
can see the shadow.
And the solar.
Solar eclipse is a very short path.
Sure.
It enters and it comes out, and then we cannot see much of the behind the moon there. So
Mhm.
there are other situations that we are fascinated about as well.
Right.
I hope I gave you a few
Yes,
of
you
them.
did.
Now, there one more question.
Good
You
question.
know, you are showing all the scale timing, 2024, 2028. You know, that things happen. How do you all calculate all this accuracy, the timing that they happen? What month? I mean, it's like
There's gotta be some mathematics there.
mathematics. You know,
Right.
they use mathematics to figure out. You know.
This mathematics is huge, no
Yeah.
doubt about that one. It's complex,
Yes,
we
it is.
understand, but it is reliable and is repeatable and it is precise.
Real.
Nothing is going to change in the universe, as we know.
Mhm.
The location of the earth with respect to the sun, the location of the moon with respect to earth, they're all predefined.
Wow.
We know
Look at
exactly
how
what
does
is
that
going to
happen? My God.
Some people say it happened by chance, and
Mm.
some people say they're ordained to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But as we see hundreds of years before and 100 years of year after,
Mm-hmm.
we know they
Set.
must have been placed precisely that in order to be in that location.
Wow.
They're in vacuum.
That in vacuum. Yeah.
Nothing is there. One of my students was asking the question just last week,
Mhm.
what is the bottom for all these things?
Mhm.
What is the bottom for the earth? In the scripture it says, he hung up the earth and
Mhm.
moon in space.
Into space.
Those words are really true.
Yeah. Yeah. In a
Because it is
precise
so
way.
fascinating how
My
it
God.
is.
Yes.
On the solar eclipse year, coming up next year in this year, we are looking at about 1,000 days, 3 years away from us now, October 2nd, 2024.
Mhm.
And this is how it is going to look like, if I can show this one to you very quickly.
Mhm.
And then you can actually see the entrance of the moon to cover the solar disk that we are
Solar.
seeing.
Mhm.
And look at this one on the sun. Sun is also rotating on its axis. We don't see the same surface of the sun all the time. It is
Mhm.
rotating. It takes about 28 plus days to rotate on its axis too.
Right.
Now the entire surface is covered. See, the entire ring is still available for us.
Right.
It is an annular eclipse now. It is not a total eclipse.
Mhm.
And then it's coming out. The moon is going to move away in that direction.
In that direction. Yes.
That direction.
Wow.
Earth is rotating, moon is moving, and then sun is rotating on its axis but in the same location. So we're going to see that one. So that's how we are going to see
Beautiful.
in
Like
2024.
That is
uh,
how it
we're going to assign Adam to go out and take pictures.
We're going to assign Adam to do
in
that.
this ocean, and it's going to be the Pacific Ocean. It's going to cover, and you see the surface of the moon is smaller than the disk of the sun, so it only covers part of that when it comes out like that. So,
Mm.
Kind of one question, Prem.
Yes, please.
You know, it's a fascinating. I mean, I'm not sure it's true, but you can clarify that thing. A lot of times, people, you know, old days people used to say that, you know, we have a high tide and low tide. It all depends with the moon.
Mhm.
Exactly.
How the moon comes out. So, what is the mystery on that part?
that is a wonderful thing.
Is
Really?
that true,
It-
or
it-
is
it is
just
true.
something?
It is true. It is true.
Okay.
So I don't have a illustration to talk about that one immediately, but I have one on that one.
Okay.
I should have brought that one. I think I missed that one. So if you can imagine the globe of the Earth, all these oceans are somehow connected. Pacific Ocean to Atlantic Ocean, all around there, and so on. The big volume of water there, and this volume of water is on the surface of the Earth. And if the moon is on this side, the gravitational force is going to pull towards the moon.
Mhm.
The moon is not going to be there 24 hours. It is going to be there
Can-
only a few hours.
Yes,
So
go move. Yeah.
it is going to align in such a way, part of this one is going to pull to the highest pull there. And that's what we call high tide. So now the moon is going to go on the other side, and this water body is going to be pulled that way, and the whole water for you standing at the shore of the Galveston feels like it is going down. That's a low tide there. We may not appreciate much in Galveston, but if you go to northeast, the Maine and other parts, you can actually see meters of the water going down, meters of the
Really
water
good
coming
coming back up. Jesus.
One of the important things,
Uh-huh.
we have our own Soyuz canal there, connecting one part of the ocean to other part of the ocean, Africa and Egypt there. And that was a man-made connection there, right?
Mhm.
Okay, now what happened, one of these ships got stuck up there. And they were waiting, and they were waiting, they're waiting, trying to do many things there. Billions of dollars of the whole thing is in a big concern there.
Right, I understand.
When the high tide came, the ship got dislodged itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're able to move that. They said, "Oh, you got it here, wonderful. We charge you $1 billion before you go back." They got to pay that one. So that high tide actually helped to pull the ship out.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what it is.
That's amazing.
It is a. We know that one. We have timings given to the second level.
Mhm.
When is going to be high tide for your location in that particular part of the
Wherever it
area,
is.
wherever you are,
Mhm.
and we can plan your fishing expedition.
Wow.
That one.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
that mean you're telling me whenever sometime you heard that some ship, they're going to go to Atlantic or Pacific, sometime you'll see that, they say, well, we can't do 30 feet
High
wave
tide, yes,
or
yeah.
High tides,
40
whatever.
feet, tall. Sometime, the whole ship was going under the waters,
Mm.
That
It can happen.
so.
So they actually plan these routes in such a way. They know when they can avoid or how they can avoid. Slow down and wait for that one. So they actually plan those things there. So yeah. So high tide and low tide is a real thing.
It is.
I believe that. I have a really confusing question.
Sure.
I mean, it's confusing me since I've heard it. They said that the universe is ever expanding. I mean, how is it possible that the moon and the sun and the earth stays in the same perspectives if the universe is expanding? In my mind, I can't perceive that. It has to be some controller someplace that say moon, sun, and the earth stay where you are. It has to be a God. It has to be somebody to design this to say, with things expanding never so largely, everything stays in the same place as it expands.
Last time I mentioned about one of the, let me see if I can bring that one here. This is the complete part, I think, yes, okay. So I got this part of the story here.
What an amazing universe.
So I will show this one to you. Adam, if I can bring that screen for you for us quickly. Are we in the right place? Yes. So that is our sun. If you can look at the cube-like structure on the right side,
Mm-hmm.
and if you go back, that is the location of our sun in the entire galaxy. On the left-hand side top, you have the entire galaxy for us. Yes, indeed, in that galaxy we have billions of stars. Maybe billions of trillions of stars there.
Wow.
A trillion is not a bad number these days. Everybody uses, including government, uses trillions of dollars, right?
Yes.
So trillions of
Stars.
stars.
Yes.
And then they are all moving in that tentacle mode, all those tentacles that we see there.
Uh-huh.
But the sun, in the entire cube, you have your sun and you have your nearest stars there. The Centauri stars and other things, and part of those things we see. And it takes about, what is the number that we are seeing there on that one? It is about 20 light years. If we travel the speed of light from one end to another end of that cube, it takes 20 light years.
My God.
We are within the 20 light years of our sun there. But look at the sun there, dot there, and I think I have some other fascinating pictures here. This is what I showed last time. This is the sun.
Mm.
This is our earth there compared to our sun.
My God.
That is the fascinating spew out of the particles from the sun there. Look at that earth. If all that comes towards the earth, that's the end of the story. No more broadcasting.
Wow.
That is the size of the moon we are talking
Wow.
about, our own earth there.
Wow.
And now the moon is a small thing somewhere there. Half the size of the earth is Mars, almost the same size as the Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury and Pluto are there. Now I'm going to go a little bit further down.
Oh my God.
That is your
Look
earth
at
there.
Jupiter.
That blue dot is your earth. The blue thing is your earth on the
Yes.
bottom. The blue one on the right hand side, Uranus and
Uranus.
Neptune is there. The one that we are showing is Neptune, and Uranus is here. And
Mhm.
you got Jupiter, the red giant spot, and then Saturn with the rings there. You have talked about that one.
Mm-hmm.
So just as big as the Earth, the marble thing at the bottom part on the right hand side is Venus. You got Mars.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mercury there. If I
So
go
Jupiter's almost the size of the sun.
Jupiter is I'm going to compare now. I'm going to
Wow.
put next page is going to be, that is your sun.
My God.
Now you can see how big Jupiter is. Until now you may be thinking Jupiter is good enough. Look at that. That is the sun we have there.
Mhm.
So the question for us is, that one you asked, the distance from the sun to Earth is called 1 astronomical unit. It slightly changed, about 93 million miles.
Mhm.
And the distance from the sun to moon is slightly more or less depending on which side of the Earth is.
Mhm.
And from the Earth to moon is about 400,000 kilometers.
Mhm.
150 million kilometers from sun to Earth, and 400,000 kilometers here.
Mhm.
We can talk about the distances differently. It takes light to travel from sun to Earth 500 seconds.
Mhm. Wow.
That is like 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Mhm.
From sun to Earth is 8 minutes and 20 seconds, or 500 seconds. Now from Earth to moon is only 1.25 seconds.
Wow.
If you say hello at the speed of light,
Mhm.
astronaut will hear Houston.
In 1.2
Will
seconds.
hear that.
Wow.
We call Roger at the end of 1.25 seconds, because it takes that delay.
Mhm.
We add the word Roger there to let them know there. 500 seconds, that is the distance.
Yeah.
Is only 1.25 seconds, or 1 second.
Mhm.
We are 500 times closer to
Closer,
moon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine now, those distances are going to be the same. In spite, we are expanding as well. Your sun is rotating, and my sun is rotating,
Mhm.
and the sun is also going away.
Mhm.
As it is moving away, it is taking the Earth
Pulling
also
us with us.
and the moon is going, and other planetary bodies are going. This
Yes.
is the solar system.
Uh-huh.
That cube-like structure I showed you,
Uh-huh.
the whole thing
Is moving together.
That's why it is expanding. Still, we don't feel it.
Yes. So that's why. Oh my God.
That is the
Now that
fascinating part of
explains.
that.
That gives me a good explanation. I understand that now.
Let us go a little
That way-
bit further down beyond sun. What we have in that cube, we have this. Our sun is now the second dot on the left-hand side.
Wow.
The first dot is the one that you said, very big one. That is Jupiter is now a dot. We can't even place Earth or Moon
In
or
there.
other planetary bodies in
You
the
couldn't see
screen
it.
here now, because they're less than a pixel now. You got other things called Sirius, Pollux, and Alcatraz. These things
Alcatraz.
probably you can see,
Wow.
but what you see on a daily basis is, look at that Betelgeuse. You see that one in the evening sky.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to talk about that particular thing. Last time I talked about that one.
Uh-huh.
And that is in the constellation of Orion, Betelgeuse, and Rigel. You see the Rigel star at the bottom there?
The Orion constellation.
The second one, the
The
second
Orion
one
Nebula.
at the bottom from the
Yes.
right
Uh-huh.
is the one. These two are in the same constellation there. So we are talking, where is our sun here? Your sun is gone. This is the sun. Now when I bring the other things into place here, Alcatraz is going to be the fourth one on the bottom from the left. That is your Alcatraz there.
Wow.
And now you have other stars there. So it is a fascinating one. This is how I ended up last time using the scripture there. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these?
Wow.
He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each of them by name.
Wow.
Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing.
Amen.
If anything is missing, that probably is the end of the story.
Probably.
So that's what I wanted to
outside
answer
looking
your questions there. Going back to the eclipses, I want to make this point before I forget this one. In
Mhm.
this fascinating area, you see all these things here. The shadow of the moon is going to be in different places and different parts and different things. A small sliver here, small sliver there, and so on. If this is the US, you got this one. April 2024, you will have part of it going through the Houston area mostly. And then if you can wait for 2023 October, there will be a small sliver going through Houston, Texas area as well
Mm.
in the US. So we're going to have two opportunities in
Two
23 and
opportunities, yes.
24.
Yes, I see.
And let us get ready for that one, and we can talk about those things as well as we go by. In the coming years, we can see all those things there. So I want to stop this particular part here and give a pause for you to talk about any of the questions you have. And this is my part 4 of the mysteries that I'm going to talk about today. Any questions for me?
My goodness.
No, you answer everything, Prem, and it is a very fascinating, I mean, just like Ray said, I mean, the thinking of the human mind, the God's creation, and I mean, look at that. I mean, we're having a hard time to, in the mathematical, just our
Just the math,
university.
just-
I think about that. Everything beside that, only you show that, Thinking about all those things
Really?
that He creation,
Yes.
I mean, it's a mind-boggling, I mean, just like I said, in the human mind cannot consume. Cannot
He's-
consume the whole deal,
He said, as far as the east is from the west,
Yeah.
his thoughts are from ours.
No.
Yes, his
Well,
knowledge is from ours.
Dr. Prem, my brothers, thank you very much for the episode, and we are looking forward to see the next one, and we will continue moving forward. It's a very educational.
Yes, it is. So
And,
many different questions
and,
and so many things.
And thank you, Ray, to join with us tonight.
Mhm.
And thank you everybody for watching us tonight, and everybody have a blessing, happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next time. And thank you very much.
You ready with your answers? Your questions, rather.
Thank you very much.
Here's the answers.
Fascinating one.